You are welcome again to Gracious Living Series by Janet Kehinde Ajayi. The next two series will be on relating with in-laws, and particularly the first chapter of this book will be treated. Be a loving mother-in-law. Lessons from Naomi. Be a loving mother-in-law. Lessons from Naomi. And it is the first chapter of this book, titled Relating with In-laws, published 2008. In-laws. Who are in-laws? In-laws are your relatives by marriage, especially the parents of your husband or wife, the blood relations. Those that are related by birth. They include the father, the mother, the siblings. And in some cultures, in-laws include the couple's cousins, nieces, nephews, and all the people related to their parents by blood and their children. And some in-laws can be helpful. And they assist the couple in a lot of ways, in prayers, counsels, financial contributions, babysitting, and so on. Some other in-laws could be very, very difficult to live with, and some will lack understanding. They disturb the home through uncomplimentary comments and actions. In fact, in some situations, some in-laws can even launch spiritual attacks sometimes. But we want to look at a loving mother-in-law, and her name is Naomi. Her story is in the book of Ruth, chapter 1 to 4. We want to pick some lessons from her life so that we as mother-in-laws will learn how to relate with our daughters-in-laws. Naomi, that name means pleasant, and she was the wife of Elimelech, a native of Bethlehem, Judah. The story, like I said, is in the book of Ruth. They had two sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Because of famine, they left their home, Bethlehem, Judah, to live in Moab. And Moab was a hidden country. After some time, Elimelech died, and it remained only Naomi and her two sons. Shortly, not too long, the two sons married. For 10 years, they didn't have any child. And the children also died. So, when after this has happened to Naomi, there she became devastated. You know what it means to be a widow, and then the two children died. She just made up her mind that she was not going to continue to stay in Moab, that she would go back to Bethlehem, Judah. More so, she got news that the famine in Bethlehem, Judah has expired, and that there was now plenty of bread. Now, the first lesson I want us to learn from Naomi was that even after she made up her mind to leave Moab, she was appreciative to her daughters-in-law. She said in Ruth 1:8, and Naomi said unto her two daughters-in-law, go, return each of you to your mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as he had dealt with me and the dead. She appreciated that these her daughters-in-law have taken care of her and their late husbands. One of the lessons we should learn as mother-in-laws is that even when things are not rosy, they should not be blamed on the daughters-in-law. It is possible for Naomi to blame her calamity on those young women. She might even say they were the one that killed their husband. No, but she didn't do that. She appreciated them. Some mother-in-law never see anything good in their daughters-in-law. They lack appreciation. It takes humility to say thank you for what you have done. Some mother-in-laws will think anything that is done for them is because of their children. It's my child that did it, so I don't even need to say thank you. But the fact is, even if it is your child, you need to say thank you. And the wives are very, very important in the life of their husbands. You may not enjoy enough goodies if you don't have the cooperation of the wife of the wife of your son, your daughter-in-law. So as mothers-in-law, let's learn to be appreciative. Naomi was appreciative. She knew that those daughter-in-laws have served their husband and herself, and she appreciated them. One other lesson we can learn from her was that she was prayerful. As mother-in-laws, we should be prayerful. Naomi said in Ruth 1:8, the Lord deal kindly with you as he had dealt with the dead and me. The Lord grants you that you may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Two things came up there. She was hopeful for them. She wanted them to be released so that they can remarry. And she prayed for them. This is a heartfelt prayer. Mother-in-laws would rather curse and blame their daughter-in-law for their predicament and misfortune. And some will not even wish that they will get somebody to marry. But it was not so with Naomi. So she did not just appreciate them, she wished them well. She prayed for her daughters-in-law. Those things you don't like in your daughter-in-law, you can put it into prayer. After appreciating her, after letting her know she is good, you secretly, privately, you pray for her. And even if there are areas she's not doing well, your prayer can turn her around. Another lesson we can learn from Naomi was that she was loving and considerate. When Ruth and Orpah decided that they would go with her, in fact, she was pleading with them not to go. She showed her love. She addressed them. She told them, if you read Ruth 1:11-13, she was telling them, I'm old. Because as the custom was in Bethlehem, Judah, if she had other children, if those women could wait, they would still marry them. But she was telling them, go back to your parents. Said, I'm too old to get married, and if I get married tonight and have other children, will they wait? Are you going to wait until they grow old so that you can marry them? We can see that she was not selfish. She was thinking about the future of these her daughters-in-law. She did not consider the danger she would be exposed to travel all the way from Moab to Bethlehem, Judah. She was determined to go alone rather than let these her daughters-in-law go into a bleak future. And she let them know that she may have to remain like that for the rest of her life. Her concern was the welfare and the good future of her daughters-in-law. She fulfilled 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 5 that says love does not think of his own. She was not thinking of her own. Some mothers-in-law have loggerheads today with their daughters-in-law because of selfish demands. They make demands without thinking of the welfare of the family. What they are interested in is their own welfare. Naomi was not a woman like that. One other thing one other lesson we can learn from Naomi along that line was that even when they got to Bethlehem, she was not selfish to be trying to justify herself. She told the people in Bethlehem, Judah, so much good about Ruth. She gave a good testimony of her daughter-in-law to her people. She did not see the Moabites as the cause of her predicament. Although she erroneously believed it was God. So she said, don't call me Naomi again. Call me Mara. God has made me bitter. Because she said that in Ruth 1:20-21. She said, do not call me Naomi. Naomi means pleasant. Call me Mara. Mara means bitter. For the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord has brought me home again empty. It will not be the portion of any of us in Jesus' name. Say, why do you call me Naomi, since the Lord has testified against me and the Almighty has afflicted me? Naomi faced God. Naomi neither blamed Ruth, neither blamed Orpah that went back, or their people. The enemies some daughters-in-law have in the villages, in the towns of their parents, are the enemies created for them by their mothers-in-law. Because they will tell their stories. How she did not take care of me, how I was hungry, how lazy the daughter-in-law is, how she doesn't have a job, how so many things, how she spends her son's money, even if it is the mother-in-law, the daughter-in-law that is carrying burden in the home. Some will still go and tell bad tales about them. They add to whatever has happened, and they raise enemies for these daughters-in-law, not knowing that by extension, the enemies they raise is for their son and also for themselves. Naomi was the only person who could testify about Ruth, and she gave a good testimony. To the extent that by the time Ruth will meet Boaz, Boaz answered and said to her in Ruth chapter 2, verses 11 to 12, she said, it has been fully reported to me all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. It was a good report. Some people are interested, what some people are interested in about their daughters-in-law is their bad aspect. And all of us, we have our good aspects, we have our bad aspect. Instead of beaming the light on the good aspect, some will say the negative about their daughter-in-laws. And you find out that because of the report of Naomi, the old women who were Naomi's friends, when eventually she got married and had Boaz, the old women, women, we hear stories and we talk. They said, your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has borne him. That's what we have in Ruth 4:15. Now, because Naomi spoke well of her daughter-in-law, it is what you call what you have that others will help you to call that same thing in Yoruba language. That is, the name you give to your utensil is the name you are going to give to it. So it was the way that Naomi presented her daughter-in-law, that every other person, including Boaz that eventually married her, including Naomi's friends, even the servants, they were pointing to Ruth as a hardworking person because she had a mother-in-law who didn't spoil her. It is important that you don't spoil your daughter-in-law. Be a rapper to cover her faults. Because by the time she will change that bad behavior, you may not be able to go back to those same people and tell them she has changed. And they may hold that against her for life. I pray that the grace to be a good mother-in-law, that your daughters-in-law will thank God for, God will make you in Jesus' name. We'll stop here. We'll continue in part 2. God bless you. If you have been bad as a mother-in-law, please pray and ask God for forgiveness, and also ask your daughter-in-law for forgiveness so that your prayers will not be hindered. God bless you in Jesus' name.